Hello, we are here today with Bohumil Hrabal, author of Too Loud a Solitude. Describe to us the basic plot of your book, Mr. Hrabal.
Gladly. Too Loud a Solitude places the reader into the life of Hanta, a paper compactor who lives in Prague. The entire book is centered on his life as a paper compactor, along with memories he possesses from his earlier years, as Hanta is quite old in the story. I did not incorporate a very distinctive plot into the book, preferring to let the reader take what they will out of it, resulting in a story that explains various details in Hanta's life. These include his two former lovers and the lessons each taught him. The book does possess a very distinctive ending, however, when Hanta throws himself into his own paper compactor, accepting the realization that his way of life is becoming extinct due to mass industry.
Now that we've heard about the life of the main character in the story, it's only fitting we learn about the life of Hanta's creator. Tell us about your life, Mr. Hrabal.
Well, to start, I was born in 1914 in Brno, Czechoslovakia. I was raised in a brewery, but left this life for a higher education, earning a law degree from Charles University in Prague. A law degree, however, was not needed in society during World War II and the post-war communist occupation of my country. Therefore, I went to work in the iron industry, forced to perform extreme labor in order to survive, my previous degree useless. There was an upside to this situation. During my work in the factory, I met Vladimir Budnik, a man who inspired my writing in countless ways. I wrote Closely Watched Trains during this time, my most famous novel, which would later be made into a movie. I remained a writer and storyteller up until this day, with many published novels under my belt, such as I Serve the King of England, and, of course, Too Loud a Solitude.
You've written many novels, as I can tell, but tell me, what experiences in your life influenced these novels the most?
Of course! So much of my life influenced my writing of these books. I will use Too Loud a Solitude as an example. In the book, Hanta faces extreme, difficult, and degrading work basically every day of his life, all to serve the communist government of Prague. This parallels to the decade I spent working in the iron factories of the same city, Prague, to supply the same communist government with the materials they needed for industrialization. The time I spent in those factories had to shine through into my work in some way. It is a part of my life. In Too Loud a Solitude, you cannot help to notice Hanta's love for alcohol, which helps him to understand the literature he rescues. Do not get the wrong idea, though, when I say that alcohol has played a large part in my life. Keep in mind, I grew up in a brewery and spent significant time now telling stories in my favorite pub, the Golden Tiger. You see, how could I not incorporate this lifelong influence into my book?
Of course. One final question, Mr. Hrabal. In what ways do you hope to see Too Loud a Solitude affecting the real world?
The impact of Too Loud a Solitude upon the world speaks for itself. For example, I finished writing the novel in 1977, and began to self-publish the work. The reason why I cannot enlist the help of a corporation in the publishing of my novel was the censorship of the communist government. Although not outright saying so in my novel, it is completely obvious that this book contains criticism for the Soviet rule over my country at the time. I hope to expose the true nature of the government in the book, and the effort it created upon the people of Czechoslovakia. Now that these censorships do not hold back the truth anymore, the fame of this novel is proof of my success.
Definitely. Well, thank you for being here today, Mr. Hrabal. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Anytime.